Okay, say hello to Patch and also to the beautiful place we're staying at for 5 nights here in central Scotland. It has a big, beautiful view. It's quite hard to pick up on camera, but it overlooks that way. It's out towards the west side of Edinburgh. And out here, this is where all the horses come down. And at the moment the farmer's just putting the hay out, which is just there in the centre, and they have some foals and other horses here in this barn. Here's our camper van. I'm going to go in and get my hat because it's really cold. I also have a very dirty van. So yeah, we're here on holiday. It's lovely to get away for a few days. And just to confuse you, although we are away, we're actually still about 45 minutes from Edinburgh. Now, hopefully Patch won't just jump in. Patch, stay. See my hat? Okay. Everyone needs a silly hat when it's cold. And everyone needs a YouTube video of the front cab of our camper van. And I'm sure you'd like to see my amazing hat. My amazing hat badly put on. Okay. Oh, fantastic. Doesn't get any better than that. Well, it does, but if you're a hat manufacturer, yeah, please do feel free to share more hats with me. So yeah, we're just wandering around the side here, and it's beautiful. They've got these big these fields they've been building. I guess what do you call these, like pens? I don't really know. I'm not really that much into horses, in that I don't understand them, but I do love them. And there's one just there. I won't go any closer, but just sail at a distance. I don't disturb them. It's beautiful. So yeah, we'll walk down just towards the entrance, which is lovely. I wanted to share a little bit. There's another one there. Beautiful, beautiful white horse. Morning. Yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, so yesterday, just to confuse you, although I'm on holiday, I'd already booked in advance my my massage training course, Swedish massage training course. And yesterday, I was back down in Edinburgh for the day. It wasn't the whole day, it was half the day, doing the first client assessment. So it was the first time I'd had clients into class, although I've had them in. You've been coming in and seeing me in the Haddington Wellbeing Centre. It was the first time I was assessed. It's like a kind of pre-assessment, and yeah, it was amazing. I was so nervous before, less so about the clients themselves, but just about my knowledge. And I found myself giving myself a really hard time about an hour before I left. Just saying to myself, John, you've not learned all the muscle groups yet, and their names, like their Latin names, and then where they connect to and from the origins and insertions. So that was, I don't know, I actually did learn quite a lot during that time, which was interesting. This gate's closed to stop the horses escaping. We can climb around, Patch, or you can stand under my feet. It's often the case. So I guess what the farmer Lynn was just doing was just going out around these fields, and she's just been putting hay into each one of the fields. I guess by the time we get back, the foals will be out. That's why she closes the gate as well. Come on, Patch. Come, buddy. He's found a snowdrop or something to pee on. So yeah, after all that negative self-talk, I went down to Edinburgh to do the training. Oh, actually, first of all, we went for a beautiful breakfast in Dollars. So between the ages of, I'm not entirely sure, maybe 2 or 3 and 5 years old. So let's just say it was between 3 and 5 years old. I lived in Dollar, which is central Scotland, not that far from Edinburgh, north by maybe 45 minutes drive, maybe not even that. And it was just incredible. Like, I'm 48 now, so having memories of like 45 years ago is really magical. And so just, if you went past these trees here, probably about another mile to 2 miles, not that far, is where my school was. And yeah, what was really cool is I remember it was kind of a U shape to go from my house, which was a little cottage, a little wee cottage in the middle of nowhere, about a mile out of town. It would have taken a mile to walk into the town. I mean, I think somewhere between a town and a village, it's quite small. And then to walk on the high street and walk back away from the high street in a kind of U shape. And so instead of doing that, we would, myself, my older brother, and our neighbours, we would walk across the fields. And so my first memories of going to like nursery and then to school was walking across fields every day. And I just thought, life is so magical. You get to, even when it was cold, and I remember like there's a little stream, or we call it a barn in Scotland, that I would walk across that. And sometimes it was really icy. Sometimes we would like spot fish, or would even try and catch fish. I remember there was a little, there's like a kind of broken fence that we would walk through, but it had this like little, almost like a little tripwire down below it, and sometimes I'd like trip on it, and I kept promising myself to come back one day, or get my dad to come back and cut the tripwire. I can't remember if we ever did. But a really stunningly beautiful area. And so yeah, my training yesterday all went really well, and I remember sitting and I was getting the feedback afterwards from my teachers, and they were just lovely, and they were just saying, and I must admit I was waiting for the but. There was no but. They gave me a whole load of feedback about, you know, level of client care was really good, had a lovely manner with them, that I was very thorough in my notes, that the treatment all seemed, although they weren't like watching every single move, it all seemed pretty much spot on. And I was like, yeah, look at that tree. Hello, Mr. Tree. You're beautiful. And I love the moss. Apparently the moss growing on trees indicates that there's like a damp climate. So yeah, they just gave me all this lovely feedback. Kept the client covered well, good communication. And I did find myself at the end, I just said, Patch, you can go a wee bit exploring in here. Should we go and explore? What is this, Patch? This looks like cans of beer in a bag. Well, that's sad. I hope they had a good life. They look like being opened. But yeah, I just found myself like criticizing myself, saying, there was one point I didn't keep the client's leg very well covered. But then I did later, and they said, well, we were going to raise that, but then you did later, so there's no point. It's like, oh, Sorry about that. And I found it quite hard to receive. And then my teacher said, "Oh, and John's a really interesting guy. Why don't you tell the other teacher who I knew less?" And I said, "Oh, I do psychic work. I do energy healing, and that." Oh, look at these trees! It's like this little hidden woods. Also, in Scotland, there's no trespassing law, so you can basically wander everywhere. People just, if they don't want you to go on their property, they just put up a wee sign and say, "Don't come in." So yeah, I was sharing the work I did, and they were both really excited. And I said, "Oh yeah," and I said, "Like last week, I did my first psychic Swedish massage," and like, "Oh, that's amazing, that's amazing." So, and they, at least one of them said that they would book me in after the training course. They said they didn't want to book me in before because they said if anything like teary comes up, which is quite likely, then they would end up in a situation where every time they saw me, it would remind them of the experience. So they were hoping to wait till after. Let's go and adventure in here, Patch. There is a funny energy in here. It's an energy of some markings. How to describe it? Like something hides in here. There's like a wee bubble. There's a wee wall just up at the edge there. These big, beautiful pines, a lot of trees, and it's funny. Just let's listen for a moment, Patch. Feels safe in here. Let me just ask my guides, what is it that hides in here? Except for Patch digging holes. They said it's like a tree spirit. Come this way. We can ask the crows. It's my best crow impression. Should we try again? They seem to be going a bit quiet as I've made that sound. Yeah, it's just there's a stillness here, and it's funny. Sometimes the energy is a bit happy and joyful, and then sometimes a bit mischievous, a bit lower vibration. It kind of shifts a little bit. Anyway, it was really lovely coming down to this little part of the woods. It's not, I could easily walk through the rest of this. He says not knowing how to get Patch through here. I think we can squeeze through here. Can I squeeze past you, Mr. Tree? There you go, Patch. Yeah, it's, what was I saying about my massage? Yeah, so it was a big lesson for me. Oh, and I did say to my teacher, I just wanted to say thank you so much for, you know, your all your support and love. Like you don't just chase me out with pitchforks and flaming torches when I talk about the psychic work I do. You're always very supportive, and they're really fascinated by what I do. Not dismissive at all. And it's like, this is what we need, people. This is an you know, an open and inclusive world, right? And not everyone needs to do it, and it's not better or worse than others. It's just different, and just exploring our magical differences, like this magical tree. Maybe we'll catch the horses as we come up. So yeah, we're in Meeks Park, Cairnmuir. My right hand has gone very, very cold. I think, I'm not sure what the temperature is, but something like minus something. I don't think it's quite that bad, but it's around 0 degrees Celsius. So after receiving lots of lovely praise, I started to realise that I've been giving myself quite a lot of negative self-talk and doubt, and that actually I was doing really well at my Swedish massage, and that I can learn these things at this age, at any age, and that I should reward myself, with praise, self-praise. And it's funny because my wife was saying, yeah, you are really hard on yourself sometimes. You just need to my wife is incredibly wise. And you just need to, be gentle with yourself and trusting and loving. And I was like, you're right. So today's message about your inner child and looking after your inner child, I saw in my meditation, like seeing the little version of me, little John, running through the fields here as I did, and playing with nature so much, that I realized it was the perfect time for me to really start to take better care of every aspect of me. There we go. Just picking up patches of poos, and one of the horses is being let out. I'm not sure what they do with the horses. They may be breeding some. There's members of it looked like there was members of the public or people coming in for maybe horse riding, or I'm not really sure, or to care for the horses. I also don't know, but it's really beautiful. Isn't there something magical about horses? And a shout out to Horses Trigger Hope, and everyone else that loves horses. So yeah, meditation just saw this little version, the little John, and it's like, hey, little John, like, I want you to know that it's all going to be okay. You're going to have a real roller coaster of a life, and yes, there's going to be lots of challenges, but know that I'm always going to look after you. I'm a big grown up now, and so much magic has happened, and so much magic is to come, and I'm very grateful for every experience, even those hard, traumatic ones, that have shaped me to become the man I am. A guy that walks around a farm at about 7:30 a.m. with his dog Patch, with his right hand freezing and a silly hat on. Has it got any sillier? Yes. Yes, it has. But it is warm. And not sure what I'm doing for the next few days. So I have one client session tonight. I think it's the last client session for the rest of the week. And because I'm on holiday, I just booked the holiday after the client session. And tomorrow night I've got the training, which I'm doing, which will be good fun. The higher self intermediate training. So yeah, we're here for a few nights, celebrating. My daughter's birthday is coming up in a few days as well, so excited for that. We'll be celebrating with her. And today we're going to see what local adventures we can do. There's quite a lot nearby, so looking forward to exploring that. Anyway, that's me. I'm going to sign off. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your love and support. And it's not long till the higher self intermediate training. If you're interested, it starts on the 10th of March. So please, the training will close a few days before then. So if you're interested, please do feel free to to sign up. Take care, everyone. Sending love.